Welcome back to another fantastic episode of I'm Going to Talk, You're Going to Listen. This is episode, I don't know. And we're outside, and by we, I mean me and you. As always, I don't know how much crazy noise this is going to pick up. So, if this episode doesn't work, this episode doesn't work. I'll try not to slung them anything. But what I'm going to be doing is clipping a bunch of wire because I think I have a new strategy. Question is, do I want to put it in a bucket or do I want to put it in the trusty old wheelbarrow here? I talk a lot about, what you shouldn't try to save. If you lose your house and lose everything, a sturdy wheelbarrow is like worth its weight in gold. Yeah. So, ironically, I guess I didn't really save this in storage. I saved this in my roommate's house. In our roommate's house, we just kept using it. And ended up just getting uses out of it like the whole entire time. Side note, I considered buying a better mic, and I forgot that like the DJI mics with the receivers are still like $300. It's just like, no, you've got to be out of your mind. I just don't. These just aren't popular enough for me to do. And I know I was supposed to buy like a windsock or something. I haven't done it for some reason. So what I'm going to be doing while I talk to you guys is the deer apocalypse happened, and unfortunately they ate the leaves off of almost every single tree. They left the trees alone for, how long has it been? Like 2 months now? They left the trees alone that whole time. And then the other day, their little biological clock ticked over, and they decided it was time. And it was almost like too imperceptible to notice the first day. Yeah, this isn't gonna work. Maybe like this. It was almost too imperceptible to notice the first day, and it kind of, this will work. I realize this is snapping and the wind and everything is probably just going to make this a mess, because that wind is probably blowing right in the mic. Let's try to see if we can move out of the wind. Oop. Oh, there's wind like no matter where I go. Of course, the wind is going to start up as soon as I want to do this. I think if I'm gonna record out here, I'm gonna have to get a windsock. That's okay. Let's try this. This is at least more ergonomical for me. So anyway, the deer biological clock kicked off, and I almost didn't catch it the first night, and I'm not sure what happened. I don't know if I didn't put 2 and 2 together or what, or if I didn't quite. Something happened the first night to where I kind of just didn't get it. And I'm trying to think of how it happened. I tried to wrap up a couple of them a little bit better on the bottom, I think. And thought, like, okay, well, maybe they were just being weird. And then the next day, so the first day was like, you know, two or three or something. I'm like, that's weird. I'll bundle them up a little bit, and then I'll bundle up some more the next day. Well, the next day, you know, if they got 2 or 3 the first day, you know, the next day they got like 5. So they're already like outpacing how much I could repair. And I kind of had a decision I had to make. You know, it's like, do I try to repair the ones they've already, the enclosures that the deer already destroyed to get to the leaves? Or do I try to like go for the ones that they hadn't destroyed yet? And so I kind of did like a little bit of both. Because I was trying to figure out like, okay, well, are they going to go to the same one, or are they going to go to a new one? So I was doing like a little bit of both to kind of hedge my bets. And what they did is they went to every single new one, and then they went back and started getting to the old ones, or the ones that they had already done. And they just like, I tried reinforcing them every single way I could. And one of those nights, you know, one of those days, I put in like a 12-hour day. So there was like, by the time I got off work, it was dark. And that's just kind of like the unfortunate thing where it's like, work is never going to compensate me for how much I'm, you know, not able to take care of the homestead, if that makes sense. Like, the homestead doesn't make me any money. It's kind of like a cost savings. I wonder if I try to turn this around over. No, it's not going to do any good. But like, nothing on the homestead gets done, then it's not a cost avoidance, and they don't pay me enough to make up for how much, you know, the cost of tomatoes, like the cost of apples. And I fudged up, you know, my first batch of potatoes, unfortunately, by letting the cat get into them, which was unfortunate. I didn't know that was going to happen. But like, you know, work doesn't pay me enough. Like, work, unless you're, I don't know, a doctor or something, work does not pay you enough to supplement your food anymore. Isn't that crazy? Like, they're not going to pay you enough extra money to supplement your food. know, that if I paid, you know, $20 for each apple tree, you know, and then the cost of the dirt, the cost of everything to protect them, I mean, and then the cost of the different fertilizers and stuff, I mean, and if you factor in that each tree is, even though I paid 20, they're worth over like $100 a piece. You know, this is like a couple $1,000s worth of trees, you know. Work isn't going to pay me enough to compensate me, right? But they'll happily let you work a 12-hour day to keep the ship afloat, but they won't compensate you. Like, you see the problem? So the trees got annihilated. And then on top of that, you have the fact that even the big box hardware stores do not stock bulk fencing that isn't ultra advantageous to them, like financially, to keep stocked. So they only stock, I've talked about this on the show before, they only stock like the most ludicrously expensive, you know, wire that they can get their hands on. I better take my phone with me. They don't stock affordable wire. So I looked all over for shopping purposes, and I think what I'll do is I'll like set my phone. I'm back in the field again. I'll set my phone out here in the field, and then the Bluetooth should be able to reach. Kind of losing my train of thought though. It's really, really nice out here. If my trees weren't freaking destroyed, I would be so happy out here right now. I'm really regretting not grabbing a bunch of drone footage before the trees ate them all. So really quick though, and so actually, yeah, let me finish the story. So what happened was, for Friday, I got off work as soon as I could on Friday, and I did all the shopping. I couldn't find any affordable mesh at all, and because it's all in a warehouse somewhere. Home Depot and the feed stores don't keep affordable fencing. They just don't. Shoot. I can't tell if they got into this one again, because there's a humongous hoof there. Humongous hoof hole. So side note, one of the things I did to try to figure out if they got in again was I put more dirt in there. I tried to fill in their hoof holes to see if there was going to be new hoof holes. Hoof prints. Maybe I just missed one. It's really hard to say. I also couldn't tell if they'd been here last night. You know, they might have just decided to take the night off. I can't really tell. So, damn, I'm like really tired all of a sudden. Okay, I'm gonna set the phone down. No, I can shovel one-handed probably. But I looked pretty thoroughly earlier and I didn't see any hoof prints. except for that one. And I think that's just one I missed. I was trying to figure out if they, like, how am I going to know if they come back or not? Besides the fact that everything's eaten, because when they would kind of like half eat a tree, it kind of messes with your brain a little bit, especially since the birds had already half eaten one of them anyway. This one, I'm not gonna lie, it looks like they got to this one again. It's really hard to tell. I might have just not clamped this down enough, and they might have been able to get up under this. Whoops. Do this without eating a bunch of dirt. I didn't do a good job. I'll say one of the problems is the more defense you build up around these trees, the harder it is to get on them to work on them. And these deer stomp around like Godzilla, and I would say they compact these roots down pretty good. And I did not staple these because I didn't staple these, so they could have shoved their way in. I was planning on stapling these today, but Sunday is supposed to be my day off. And unfortunately, the deer don't take a day off. This one took a real beating. Oh, so that was kind of part of my point. You know, set the shovel down. So I came back and I meshed like 20 apples in 2 days. And cherries. Because they started in on the cherries also, and they started with the smallest cherries first. Okay. So the last time I tried to do this video, this podcast didn't work out. So it actually got deleted. But the Kobler golden apple got nibbled down to almost nothing, but its leaves are coming back. The yellow got nibbled down to nothing, but its leaves are coming back, and it has a sucker coming out. There's hoof prints in here too, and I didn't staple this one down either. I can't tell if those are new or not. This is so, it's like encouraging and discouraging at the same time. I wanted these trees to be able to gather their maximum energy to go into the winter. Alright, the semi-dwarf red got nibbled down, but it's high enough to where some of its leaves survived the nibbling. They nibbled all the new starts off them. Just ransacked them. The yellow delicious got nibbled down to nothing, but its leaves are coming back. The Jonah gold got nibbled down to nothing, but its leaves are coming back. The summer red got nibbled down to nothing, and it is not coming back at the moment. I can't tell if these are new. proto poopies or not. And let's see. Freaking termites on me. The Gala got nibbled down to almost nothing, but it's coming back. See, I stapled some of these and didn't staple some of these, and I couldn't do it. What's this guy? The wolf got nibbled down to almost nothing, but it's trying to come back. And that's what I'm afraid of. That I was afraid that these didn't have enough energy stored after their last bout. And by the way, it's like this woodpecker that looks like a crow with this really long beak. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. The snow furnace, it got nibbled down to almost nothing, but it's got some tall boys, so it was able to weather. But the lower parts, the lower extremities, got annihilated. But let's see. Whoa, bunch of zip ties. I can use these. What's this guy? Oh, the Liberty. So the Liberty actually held out pretty decent. It held out pretty decent. I'm really proud of that tree. The Cortland just barely held on. Yeah. Let's see. Oh, where are you at? The golden russet somehow managed to get through this unscathed. I think they just didn't make their way to it. And it's really spindly, so they would have ripped this thing to pieces if they would have got to it. What's this guy? The Matsu is also very spindly, but they didn't get to it. And then I reinforced the living heck out of it. And boy, they tried. They threw everything that they could at that thing, and they couldn't get to it. The Brayburn got annihilated. They went after it 2 days in a row, and just annihilated it. And they ate the suckers too. But it's trying to come back. One of my brothers, this was one of the first ones that they got, and it was like they ate it down. They ate the leaves down to nothing. But it's trying. It's thinking about it. It should have a lot of energy stored up though, because it's from last year. Oh, there's proto poopies everywhere. The Grabenstein, they tried to get to it, but I think they were like munching through the netting and couldn't quite get to it. And plus it's a little bit of a tall boy. So, which this was like one of my favorite ones, so I'm glad I made it. And then my brother's other one, they skipped over it, and then I reinforced it and managed to save it. So his other one is unscathed. And then, by the grace of God, they decided to leave the Honeycrisp alone. I think they got into the Honeycrisp and then psyched themselves out and thought that they had already eaten it because they left it alone. And it was the one that had taken the worst beating from the woodpecker. And it was the last one to come back. So it doesn't even know what happened. It's like, well, no, I guess everything is something. I don't know. I don't know what you guys are complaining about. So then I already talked about, did I ever talk about the Gala? The Gala got pretty much every leaf eaten off of it, but it's poking back out. So that's the thing, is these trees are meant to be kind of whittled down in the fall. They're meant to be pruned a little bit. They lose their leaves anyway. So the fact that this happens so late in the season is not that big of a deal. What is a big deal is the fact that they hadn't had a lot of time to really store up their energy, and they'd already gotten all nibbled down once. And trees, unless you're really lucky, kind of only have enough energy to come back once. So these trees are having to come back twice. Not really good for them. So the question is if they can come back a second time, which it looks like all of them, but like two of them are going to have a really, one or two of them are going to have a really rough time coming back. So that sucks. I think the thing is too is, like, I know I'm hopping around a lot. My brain is in a million places at once. These trees, two of them got crushed. Like when the deer, I can't remember which two. I think maybe it's the ones that I double zip tied on the top, because I triple zip tied some on the bottom, and I double triple zip tied some on the top. Oh wait, it's the ones with the netting on the one with the netting on the outside. They didn't crush that one. Yeah, this is one of the ones they crushed. The Jonah gold. They wanted in this one so bad that instead of going underneath it, they crushed it. They crushed it down. Ruined 3 poles. That's the picture I showed you guys. And then this is the other one that they crushed in the Liberty. They wanted in the Liberty one so bad that they crushed it down. But like I said, I think all but like 2 of these, like this summer red's going to have a rough time coming back. It's just a twig. I've noticed once they're all the way chewed back to their last little twiggly bit, it takes a month for them to wake back up, and that's kind of the problem, is there's not enough summer left. There's not enough summer left for them to come back. And so I was really hoping that we would have maybe a warm October, and that these things would have a nice long you know, time to store up a bunch of energy to make it through the winter, especially a long, cold winter. But man, these deer, they couldn't have waited just like a little bit longer. They waited until damn near the last second. So I should have grabbed the staples. But I think I have to just kind of hope that this is like enough. Does that kind of make sense? Like, I'm not even trying to do like the bare minimum. Like, I'm just trying to do something. You know, I don't. It's kind of funny. There's no real, like, I don't even think that's gonna work. This is such a dumb idea. I was thinking of like kind of twisty tying little pieces of metal into this bird netting, because I left the bird netting on. I was like, if I twisty tie some little pieces of metal here, like maybe it'll be enough for the deer to be like, I don't want whatever's going on here. And then, oh yeah, and so that's kind of like my point, is there's no real, there's no real rule book for this. That's the thing with homesteading, is there's no real rule book for a lot of this. People act like there is, oh, just do this, just do that, because they're looking for some kind of quick. People so much these days are just looking for like this quick solution. Just do this. Just do that. Just get a dog. Just get an electric fence. It's like, oh really? Just to do that, huh? Why didn't I think of that? Oh, because it either wouldn't work or it would like cost a fortune. Like, despite the price of all this, you know, fencing and netting and poles and stuff, this is still more affordable than getting a dog. That's just the bottom line. That's just simple math reality. So, plus I've talked to a lot of people where their dogs just won't fuck with deer. So just to get a dog, and okay, so let's say I just get a dog. Well, they come and eat the, you know, they come and eat them anyway, let's say. Okay, then just getting the dog didn't really help, did it? Just get the dog. Just get a dog. Oh, just get a dog. Just get an electric fence. Just, you know, whenever people say like just do this, and then, you know, you're like, oh fuck, I'm in for it now. Just put ribbons on everything. You know, just, you know, it's like, you can, the best you can kind of hope for with a dog is that you pour, I forgot, me and my brother priced out how much it would cost to fence this place. And for a dog, we kind of only need to fence two edges of the yard. because the other two were already fenced for the neighbor's dog. That would still be hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of dollars. Not to mention the gates that we would need, you know, for the you know, the gate to get in and out. Just to get a dog. Dude, I love it. Just get a dog. Oh, I'd love to. I want to get a German, no, not German, why do I keep saying that? I want to get Australian, what are they called? Australian Shepherd dogs? Australian herding dogs? Because that's the only thing that I know that would be able to catch the deer. Catch the deer and make sure they stay the hell out. Dude, I would love. And you know, if some things, of course, I could have just grabbed that one that bit me. Give me that damn thing. I'm hearing like the craziest shit. So is that dog, apparently. Anyway, yeah, like that's the kind of dog I want to get. But you kind of got to get two of them because they're little hellhounds. And also, I just don't have the time to, you know, I don't have the time. That's what I want, though. Oh, motorcycle. Oh, I should have brought more zip ties out. I should have brought a lot of things out here. I should have brought a lot of things out here. I kind of wanted to keep this. Keep nimble and not bring a ton of things out. All that does is just make this netting look like it's even lower than it is. I kind of got to be careful if this netting looks too low. They're gonna hop over it anyway. And I don't want that. I don't know. I don't know if this is gonna work. Once the deer seemed to just get a collective conscious that destroying all of this was the way to go, we decided that destroying this was the way to go. That kind of threw a lot of my strategy out the window. I did not expect them to just flat out crush two of the enclosures. They usually do that on their way out. They usually don't do that on their way in. And they crushed them going in. I have not seen deer ever do that before. They crushed it going in. Two of them. Once they did that, I was like, okay, now what? That threw kind of my whole... I mean, that was a curveball. I guess that's what I'm trying to say, is it was a curveball. It took everything I knew and just threw it out the window. Like, okay, well, if the deer are willing to just flat out crush these enclosures, then what? I was like, do I go and just spend hundreds and hundreds of dollars on T-posts? Because they can't crush T-posts. I mean, they could try, but they'll bounce off them. And then I was thinking to myself, like, do you know how long it would take me, I was talking to myself, like, do you know how long it would take to hammer in T-posts? Hammer in whatever, 4 times 20 is like 200. Like 200 T-posts or something. It's so, like, my shoulders would die. That's why they have big machines. Big, like, hammering machines that do that. Because your shoulders would die. Your shoulders would die. Not to mention, like, the cost of 200 T-posts would just be, like, monumental levels of absurdity. And that kind of just goes back to my statement earlier of, like, I don't get compensated. My work doesn't compensate me for losing all of this, but they're more than happy to take my time up. And I was taking this training class, and the training class said you have to set the example by taking time off. And I'm just like, that's a laugh and a half. It's like, I'm keeping the entire ship afloat. What do you mean I'm supposed to set the example by taking time off, and they guilt trip the shit out of you, and then you find out that they're taking a week off, and then they're going to guilt trip the shit out of you, and they're like, oh no, I'm signing off in a couple hours. Like, oh, okay. It's like my old job all over again. Dude, everybody's dogs are going nuts. And that's the thing too, like, the second I get dogs, I'm gonna have to worry every second about, them getting out and, eating chickens or whatnot. Biting people. Should have grabbed the staples. Of course, you guys wouldn't have liked to hear me bending over and over and over and over 10 million times to do the staples. But thankfully we have tons of wire, because the wire that you buy comes with extra wire. And then we still have tons of zip ties, and we still have tons of staples. So if this works, which is a big if this works, we have enough materials to do it. If this works, we have enough materials to do it. Is it sprinkling? You've got to be fucking kidding me. It is not sprinkling. It is. Oh, there's a cloud right above me that's sprinkling on me. So, the other problem is, it's almost, we're a couple days away from October, and it gets dark so fast. It's legit getting dark at like 6:30. You wouldn't know that summer was over by the weather, but it's like 6:30. What the fuck is this? Like, how about, can you give me 7:30? Can I get 7:30? No, 6:30. Really? Ow! Fuck. It's like really 6:30 is what we're doing, huh? 6:30 is what you decided? Weather, planet. That's what we're going with. 6:30. Fuck you. And the thing is, just speaking of, mental health or the lack thereof, I have been working on this for so long, just the last couple days, that I see the bird netting when I close my eyes. I see the bird netting when I close my eyes. I am not exaggerating. Sometimes it's funny shapes, but it's usually bird netting, square shaped. I actually kind of have a good feeling about this wire thing. I think it's a good compromise. I mean, I feel like the zip ties might do it too, because the zip ties are a lot thicker. But this metal stuff reflects, and they really don't trust metal stuff. But yeah, I was sitting here trying to like rationalize what happened. And the fact that they leave some alone, like all the ones that they ate last year, there is not very much chicken wire around those. There's like people yelling. Why are people yelling? No, I'm in the middle of nowhere and I still hear people yelling. You know, some of these from last year, you know, I didn't mesh them very well because I was in like panic mode, you know, save them however I can. Wait, 2 years ago? Was that 2 years ago? I think that's right. No, now I hear dogs. I don't have a can of pepper spray with me. Probably walk this way. Mark, deer poop. Dude, there's these like there's just this. Oh, I hear people and dogs. I don't know when this is gonna cut out. I wonder what they're yelling at each other about. I can kind of hear them. Ugh, freaking drama. You live in the middle of nowhere. It's just a different group of people to deal with. You hope that because there's less of them, that it's statistically less of a problem, or at least a problem less often. But sometimes the problems are just more. What's the word I'm looking for? Concentrated. The problems are more concentrated. They're like a mile away and I can hear them yelling. Noise travels just like crazy. You know, if I wasn't doing this, I'd go fly the drone over there and see what they're all up in a tizzy fit about. Well, I'm kind of, sort of ish, happy with this. Like, this wire is metal. They don't seem to trust it. It's not going to be as obnoxious as the streamy things. I've heard the streamy things don't really work. We're going to try that too. Once I staple these down, I'm not really worried about them getting in. I'm worried about them somehow barging their way in and not being able to get back out. See, that's a hoof print too, but I think that hoof print was there before. But we're gonna go cover up that hoof print. So I was working on bunker basics for like 5 hours today and just completely lost track of time, and I was just having so much fun fiddling with it and talking to everybody that I looked at the time and it was like 5. I'm like, how the hell is it 5 o'clock? And it being 5 o'clock wouldn't be a problem, except that it gets dark at 6:30. I'm like, well, I gotta get, dude, this gravel has such giant rocks in it. Like, I gotta get my ass out there. And I wanted to do a podcast, and kind of, my last one was about, a fellow content creator losing their house, and I wanted to do a video about that, and so I did. And then I wanted to, but I also just wanted to do a video of how this is going. Let's see, there's that hoof print. Forgot my point of that. But I wanted to work on the book too, and that's the thing, is you just like, there we go, cover it up. Plus, covering it up gives it more nutrients with more fresh dirt. They are still barking and everything. So I lost track of time. That's why Sunday is like my break day. But I'm like, I can't take a break from this. I gotta do as much as I can. But now that it's good enough, I'm not worried about them getting into these. The way this mesh is designed, it's not designed necessarily to keep things out. It's designed to keep things in. And I'm worried about the deer getting in these and not being able to get out. Because why, everybody? Because deer are hella retarded. Oh, I'm liking this idea. So I'm just weaving wire through this netting, making sure that it doesn't pull the netting down too much. Waving to the neighbors. Well, they're all gonna go down there and figure out what the habble is about. But I'm liking this wire idea because, there isn't going to be any moon soon. Not that it's getting destroyed, it's just not going to be around for a couple days. So there isn't going to be a lot. But the thing is the neighbors' lights. See, that's the thing. That's why I think this is going to work. Is because the neighbors' lights are going to reflect off this metal. And the deer are going to see that metal and they're going to go, The deer are going to go, I don't want to fuck with that. I don't know what that is. Usually, 99% of the time, the other half, they're just fucking, like I said, retarded. It's all gangsters. Oh, yeah, this is the thing. This is the thing about just like conflict resolution in general. When you're trying to figure out how to solve a problem, it kind of does take some rambling. It takes people being patient with each other as they ramble out really, really stupid sounding shit, which is usually me. Stupid sounding shit until all of a sudden something really smart comes out. So I was talking to my wonderful, tolerant, patient wife, Pearsy Poo, last night, trying to brainstorm something, and we were talking about the ribbon stuff, and I wanted to do the ribbon, but I didn't know how. I don't want to just do what everybody else is doing, because sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't, or sometimes it kind of works until it doesn't. And so I wanted to try other things too. I mean, like I was telling the people at the hardware store, like, this is all an experiment. I don't know if they took that the right way or the wrong way, but it is just an experiment. I mean, it's an experiment that I really want to work for future generations, to have apples, since, you know, my dad sold his house that had our apple orchard on it, and our blueberries. So I have to restart the blueberries, and I have to restart the apple orchard, you know, 25 years later. I want to get more blueberries, but I want to get more pink lemonade blueberries. For whatever reason, man, that pink lemonade blueberry is doing really good. So, and folks, let me tell you what, when something does good and you're in the middle of nowhere doing shit, it's the fan, and something works, you do that thing a lot, for better or worse. And there's all kinds of weird shit out here today. So yeah, pink lemonade blueberries are the bomb. All right, I'm gonna cut this and try to do a part 2. It's getting dork. All right, part 2. I'm still out here clippity-doo-dahing everything. I need a new phone soon. That's the other thing, is like, I'm pushing really hard for a promotion at work, and goodness knows I have earned it. I don't know if I deserve it or not, but I've earned it. And yeah, I don't want them to just be able to just nibble through this. I don't think they're tall enough. I don't think. Hopefully they're just not going to trust that thing if they start fiddling with it. It would not be a life-changing, life-altering promotion or anything, but at a bare minimum, it would. I forgot what I was even going to say about it. Catch up on repairs, I think. I brought this up before. It would just help catch up on repairs. And that's the thing with the book, you know, and I'm trying to do the art book too. All of that is not to make shit tons of money. I would have to be selling hundreds of copies a month. And that is just simply, well, this is wild. How did I miss this? Okay. Thankfully, the deer missed it too. I would need to sell hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books a month, and I would have to maintain top 100. Now some of my betters, the three other people that write the books like I do, they're able to they're selling a good enough amount of copies to where they can make some decent money off. Oh no, stay in the top 100 and you know, make a little bit of money. I just can't do it. I can't get there, and I don't know if it's because they don't want to shout me out, or they're just used to grifters, or honestly what I think it is I think it's they're too stinking busy. And I think that's the difference. Like, they're out doing real training. Not that I don't do real training, I just don't talk about it. And I don't advertise it. I do training too, I just don't advertise it. And I never talk about it because it's kind of nobody's business. I don't know any of you, and even if you, yeah, I don't invite people to my training. It's kind of an invite only thing. Or I don't, you know what I'm trying to say. I don't talk to people about it. It's an invite only thing. But I think the reason why so many of them don't cross, they only cross promote with the teeny tiny group of people because, well, they never met me because I've never been to any of their trainings. And, that's something I want to change. That's something I want to. That's one of my goals, I think, for 2026. Is I want to go take real trainings. Like I have opportunities to go take, CPR, AD, like DFib classes and stuff. Like I have the opportunity for that. And I'll continue to explore those opportunities. But like that's a far cry from taking a proper wilderness survival, taking a proper tactical casualty combat care, taking those like proper medical classes, and taking like taking real stop the bleed classes. Not that other people don't teach real ones. I mean like certified stop the bleed. Like I've been in certified stop the bleed. I took wilderness survival, but I didn't get. The dude, I guess, just decided he wasn't going to certify anybody. If he'd say, pay the $35 and I'll get you the certificate, I would have done it. I don't know why he gave us the entire class and didn't certify us. TC3 is just like crazy expensive, but I've done the TC3 classes several times and just never certified. But like, I've never, traveled abroad to take like brush beaters. What the brush beaters classes? And I want to take, brush beaters classes, and then, if I go take his classes, then I can talk to him like, yo, dude, I know you guys are into your own stuff, but like, what are the chances, that we could collab? And these guys all only collab in person, which is smart. So I definitely, I think out of 3, Spike, brush beater, and no, that's not true. The tactical J Dolio. I think he runs training classes too. I'd like to take a training class from all of them, but like, brush beater's signal intelligence classes are like the best. He's legit. But that's the thing. It's funny. How do I say this? like every region, this is kind of funny, I never thought of this before, but every region kind of has its own thing it's good at. The Pacific Northwest, you know what we do? We do civil unrest, baby. That's what we do. We do civil unrest here, you know. Ohio's got its own prepping groups, you know. Tennessee, I don't like this. I want this to prop up more. Tennessee's got its own stuff, like, and I think each area has kind of developed its own personality. I'm gonna go get some pokey little pieces of bamboo, or whatever they are. You know, each area has developed its own thing. So, like here, you know, there's a lot of search and rescue stuff because these damn mushroom pickers are always getting lost in the woods. Tons of medical stuff, just because that's kind of ubiquitous. And yeah, lots and lots and lots of civil unrest stuff. Tons and tons of civil unrest stuff. And tons of grid down. Why? Because our grid's always going down. I'm gonna end up with 4 of these pokies. This is gonna be good. This is gonna be super useful. Ooh. Alright. So yeah, if you, it's the same thing like, you know, tactical response. It's like, or Reed's school, or actually I think Fort Honey Badger, like Tennessee is where all the tactical training's at for the most part. That's just the way it is. I don't know where Joe Dolio and Brush Beater NC. Wonder if they're in the Carolinas. I feel stupid for not knowing that. Alright, which one of these needed the pokies? Man, I should have, well, I'm saying that I should have come out here earlier, but the reality is that I need to finish the fall edition of Bunker Basics. I'm going to try to do a pokey stick for this one. See if I can get this thing. What if I do that? Aha, yes! Yes, it works. Nobody's out here. It works, everybody. Fuck you, shut up. Maybe not that one. Man, it is. I should have just taken tomorrow off. Oh yeah, that was kind of like one of my earlier points. Is, you know, you've got to take time off. And the thing is like they make you feel like shit for taking time off. But they all go do it. Every single last one of them. And they just guilt the fuck out of you for taking time off. Oh, here we go, I found it. Oh wait, termites. Anyway, they guilt the fuck out of you. Wait, was it this one? Oh well, we're going for it. I think. Yeah, that works. I'm trying to perk up all this bird netting so these dumb deer don't get an idea that missing. They don't get an idea of trying to add as many visual indicators. That Matsu needs a lot of work. They're gonna go after that Matsu hard. Which one of these? Which one of these would like really? There's another one of these that was really flippy floppy. Oh yeah, so like, dude, I would totally, like, legit take like an entire day off and just do this like all day and just talk to you guys like all day. If the wind picks up, I better just take the apples off that thing. Ooh, I hear the crow-pocalypse. They're fucking something up. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. There's just one tree. Just one tree moving. The crows voted somebody off the tree. The crow drama. Alright, I'm gonna look through all these one more time. Maybe I'm just going insane. That one looks good. Was it this one? No, one of these was like slumping really bad. Maybe I just... Was that right here? Was it this one? It doesn't look too bad. Maybe I got it already. Anyway, it would, if I had the right setup, it would be really fun to just live stream this all day. Hell, I would live stream this even with like a camera and just talk to you guys. But the reality is like, oh yeah, that was the other thing I wanted to talk about. Like, I would get doxxed so bad, and then it would be people. Well, I know for sure I want to do this one. It would be people destroying all my stuff instead of the animal. And despite this area being completely lawless, I do not want to deal with that. I don't want to have to defend myself full well knowing that the second I do, you know, it's going to be my fault. Then all of a sudden the law will wake up. As soon as you have to defend yourself, all of a sudden the law is like, well, no, we can't. You can't have people defending themselves. You gotta just be victimized. Well, I ran out of little stick thingies. Yeah, man, it would be a blast to just live stream all day, because there's still so much work that I have to do. I want to refertilize these, but I kind of got scared a little bit, because it's like you don't want to over fertilize, because I guess the trees don't absorb tons of nutrients over the winter, so you don't want to over fertilize. Apparently you're supposed to do like a fall and a spring, and I kind of did an I did like a late summer. Well, let's see. The sun has dipped below the horizon. I'm gonna go get one more piece of wire and try to clip out some more. That's kind of the thing, like I feel like if I don't do every last second of this I can, within reason, then it won't be enough. It never feels like it's enough. But with some money, I can hire people. That's not me begging for money. I need to get a promotion. They need to be compensating me because nobody is being very well compensated. And like I said before, like wages have stagnated. I want to say back in like 2006 or 2007, wages, tech wages stagnated. Oops. Contact. Oh. So I'm going to be clipping again. Sorry if this is, I can't tell how loud this is going to be. It's a sharp noise, so it's probably really loud. I shouldn't have talked during the clippy parts. That was a big mistake. The videos I try to do out here never turn out. Half the videos I did in the garage didn't turn out either. Because you gotta have a $300 microphone. Anyway, I'm not begging for money. I know there's other people that need it more than I do, but if I had money, I would be able to help out more people. I'd be able to get my situation squared away, and then I'd be able to help more people. And that's kind of the difference, is like, I was talking to one of the nanas today, and she said, her being a nana, people try to hit her up for money and think she's made of money. And we talked about scams and stuff, but most nanas aren't made of money. I think the problem is like, one of two things needs to always be happening. You either need to be bettering your own position as much as you can, and if your position's good enough, you need to be helping the next person better their position. Honk, honk, honk. And I think that's like, that's always been the issue with my parents. Like, they just don't see honk, honk, honk. Honk, honk, honk. Honk, honk, honk. The crows here sound so weird. Oh god, there's so many of them. They're calling. They're calling the council together. Those things are huge too. The crows here, they're not like quite raven size, but they must have like no natural predators. They are just massive. And once they decide to do something, like, it doesn't matter. There's so many of them, they can just do whatever they want. They're gonna go fuck something up. So the thing with my parents is like, okay, well, what's your guys' plan, you know? But the funny thing is you ask them the plan, and like, well, there is no plan because we just reject the premise. I'm like, okay, so it's just normalcy bias. And then his excuses. It's just one thing after another. It's excuses. It's this. It's that. Wah. It's like, if my parents had moved out here 2 years ago, as soon as we got this place, we could have like 2 or 3 times as much stuff done, although that presupposes that, you know, their behavior is amicable, which is hit or miss. But like, as you're getting older, like, my mom always used to say, well, you're gonna wipe my ass when I get older, right? You're gonna wipe my ass when I get, it's like, well, now I'm definitely not gonna be wiping your ass if you're not gonna move in. Like, I get it, you have a house and you have like no interest in your house is paid off and stuff, but that's like largely irrelevant, as a lot of people are finding out now, because you can't sell it. And you're gonna have to bug out. So what are you doing? You just reject the premise because you don't want to have to prep? That shit's ridiculous. Like, when we lost our house, all I wanted was just literally anybody to let me cache things at their house. Like, that's all I wanted. I'm like, can I cache one tote at your house? Just one tote. Can I cache just one? Oh, you know, this weekend's not good. Huh? Can I just put a tote at your house? Can I cache a tote at your house? Because I was living in somebody's back room. You know, I'm like, dude, just one tote. And I had the tote ready. I'm like, I have the tote ready. Can I just, oh, you know, I got my son this weekend. I'm like, dude, I don't actually give a shit that you have your son this weekend. I just want to drop a tote off at your house. Fucking excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. It's like, how long have I known you? You're supposed to be a prepper, man. Like, can I just drop a radio off at your house? Like, can I drop a can of food? Can I drop anything off at your house? Like, just let me drop something off at your house. Anything? No, I can't. You know, I had to work late and I have to get up early. I'm like, dude, I kind of don't care about any of that. None of that matters if the shit hits the fan. So can I drop something off at your house? No, I'm sorry. I can't, you know, now is not a good time. The football game's on. What? Dude, you're supposed to be a prepper. Can I, like, he didn't actually, the guy that I'm thinking of didn't actually say that the game was on. But it's just like never ending excuses. Whoops, that didn't work out how I wanted. Never ending excuses. I like the guy. Me and him did stuff together. He'd been in the game for a long time. You know, maybe he just wanted out of the game. And I think that's the hard part, is like sometimes these people just want out of the game and they don't know how to say it. They don't know how to say that they want out of the game. They won't just be honest. They want a shit, but they don't want to get off the pot. Or maybe it's vice versa. You know, I think in the back of their mind, they know that they need to be prepping and they know they need to be ready, and they know that the shit's gonna hit the fan, and so they kind of maintain contact with everybody. But deep down, they don't want to actually have to do the work. They don't want to, like, put the this is gonna sound weird, but like the relationship. They don't want to put the relationship equity in. Sounds really gay to say that, but that's what it feels like to me. They don't want to put in the relationship equity. And I've lost so many friends because they just kind of decide they don't want to prep with me anymore. Or they're just too busy. And it's like, dude. And some of them are raising kids. And I get that. I talk about that in bunker codes. Like, I think that's pretty admirable. But like, you know, you can raise a kid. You know, you can spend family time. You can have family time. You know, and still prep. Like you can, you know, I forgot who said this, but it was like, you know, you can take time. You could take 10 seconds to say hi. You know, you can say hi to somebody. You can say, hey, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're hanging in there. I hope your homestead's not having any problems. You know, I hope you don't have to go into town that much. You know, hope you don't have to go into the city. Or hey, you know, I found a good deal on something. You want to go in on it together? Like when you've just become like an afterthought or just no thought at all, it's like it's like, well, you know, what are we doing? What am I doing? What are you doing? What are we doing? Like, my mom has said that to me before, and it's like, well, what do you mean, what are we doing? You're growing flowers, and I'm trying to prepare for the apocalypse. It's like, we're not the same. Oh, well, I'm gonna die soon anyway. It's like, are you though? Because you've been saying that for 20 years, and you're still not dead, Mom. You think it's funny to just, you know, say since you're going to die that you're just not gonna prep? It's like, go be homeless. Go be homeless then, and give me all your stuff. If you're just gonna die and just check out and not take any training or planning or preps or anything. I'm gonna put more dirt. I'm gonna put more dirt in that one. It's just weird. It's just weird. The whole thing's weird. I don't get it. But what I remind myself is that, you know, I only have to network with one person. I only have to take care of one person. All these other people, you know, maybe I'm the one that feels like I need them. You know, maybe since they've moved on, you know, maybe they're the ones that have it figured out. Maybe I'm the one that doesn't have it figured out, you know. I don't know. But the only person I have to... People are honking. People are honking. That usually means that there's deer. Whenever people are honking, you know, I only have to make sure one person's taken care of besides myself. And that is my wonderful, amazing wife. That's it. All these other people, I hate to say this because it kind of sounds shitty, but in a lot of ways the rest of them were just a means to an end. And I don't mean that in a bad way. And they weren't numbers. Like, every single one of these people meant a lot to me. They were my brothers. These were my brothers many times over. I would have done anything for them. And they were a means to an end, meaning they were the people that I wanted to survive the apocalypse with. You know, they were my apocalypse brothers. And to just be ghosted by all of them, it's like, did you guys find someone better? Am I just a fucking loser? Like, what is it? I'm just the fat fucking loser that lost his house. You know, what is it? What did I do? You know, was I associated with like the wrong? What was that? That's the rat. That was the rat. Rat, I'm looking right at you. You know, like, was I hanging out with the wrong other person? That's the thing, is like, dude, some of these preppers are just such little girls. Such little. I'm not talking about anybody in our current circle, so calm your tits down. I've known a lot of preppers, a lot of real squared away preppers. They are girls. Absolute queens. They can be, you know, they can be 180 and muscle and this and that and have all the fucking gear in the world. They're still queens. Absolute queens. I know people where their gun collection. Oh, that's weird. Their gun collection is worth more than everything I own combined, including the value of my property and everything. Total queens. Their feelings. You hurt their feelings, and they're just that's just it. They just can't handle it, and then they go to all their buddies behind their back and they just bully the shit out of you. Total fucking queens. And you know what? Shit tons of them are prior military fucking queens. That was a lot of how I lost my respect for a lot of people in the military. Was finding out how many military preppers were just absolute fucking queens. Absolute children. And a lot of it, PNW Guerrilla has talked about this. A lot of it stems from them wanting. They get out of the military and they want that brotherhood. They want that brotherhood still. And so they'll join prepper groups or whatever. Or they'll start LARPing or whatever, or they'll just never shut up about something they did 20 years ago. And I envy a lot of. I think a lot of the military stuff's cool. You know, I think it's cool knowing where all the military bases are, and I think it's cool knowing what all those little stars and stripes and chevrons and shit mean. I think that's all really cool. Like, I think that's one of the neatest things about the military is like, well, I was at Fort Bragg, or I was at Fort. I can't think. I don't know why Fort Bragg came to mind. Our fort is JBLM. You know, they'll say I was at Fort. This is how I was at Fort. That. And I was like, that's cool. I think that shit is really cool. I would love to have all that, you know. But everybody else joined the military and I didn't. That's always been, it's a weird thing with me. If everybody's doing something, I just do the opposite. If everybody's going somewhere, I don't go. So everyone joined the military and I just didn't go. I've been that way ever since I was a kid. If everybody ran into the forest, I would turn around and go home. Even in my dreams, I'm like that. Even in my dreams, people will have this recurring dream where people jump into sewers. Oh, there's the deer. I have this recurring dream where everyone jumps in the sewer and they teleport away, and I'm always too scared to do it. If I can't see, in my dreams, if I can't see the bottom, if I can't see the ladder, if it's just a shadow, I won't do it. My dreams have always been that way forever. Then usually what happens is, just before I wake up, I see it, and then I jump in, and then it turns. It turns into a bottomless pit. It turns from a manhole cover with a ladder into a bottomless pit. I've had that dream a ton of times. I usually don't tell people my dreams because I don't want to get psychoanalyzed, but I feel like I have that dream because when everybody else does, I don't trust the hive mind. I don't trust the group at all. I think if nobody else had taken the clot shot, I still wouldn't have taken it because I think that's kind of like a little bit different. It's more like if everybody else is doing something. Like that fucking, what's that K-pop anime movie that everybody keeps talking about? The more people talk about it, the less and less I want to watch it. People say that just means I'm a hater, but I'm not a hater. I just want to spend my time and effort and energy supporting other people and doing other stuff. Doesn't mean I'm a hater. So, what was my point to all that? I just wasn't in the military, but I think the military is like super cool. You know, I have my own, I wasn't in the military, but I have my own stories. But I think the problem is they join the military and then they get out and they want to just keep doing interesting stuff and they just can't. They struggle to find interesting stuff to do. They struggle to get that brotherhood. To get that brotherhood back. Well, I see the deer over there. They're side-eyeing me. Side note, that's the whole thing with like just get a dog. The neighbors have a dog. It doesn't matter. They just even if you're in I'm in the yard right now and they're just like side-eyeing me. Like they don't give a shit. I've gotten close enough to bean them with apples before, but I just kind of roll the apple in front of them and they look at me and then they munch the apple and keep walking. Deer are just absolute NPCs. So I'm also hoping that they see these green poles and these green poles just psych them out, but they didn't psych them out before. I also thought of just spray painting the poles silver. Boink, boink. Anyway, it's getting too dark. I hope some of this video turns out. I'm gonna come out. I don't know. I kind of feel sort of good about what I did. I feel like it's slowly moving in the right direction. These silver things. The light might reflect off the silver things and freak them out. I don't want to do that one. The thing is like I could seriously just like do this all day and all night. There's just this kind of, I mean, I quoted it from like the Johnny Appleseed thing. There's just a massive amount of peace. This is gonna just sound so weird and gay, but there's just a weird peace being in like an apple orchard. I don't know how to explain it, but I have just this energy. This energy from being in the apple orchard, and I just love it. I come out here in the apple orchard and I feel like I could just plug away on it all day, which I have been. Ironically, I have been plugging away on it for a day and a half straight. Well, is it Thursday? I can't remember now. I think Wednesday was the day that I missed working on it, but I worked on it, I think, some of Wednesday, some of Thursday, huge chunk of Friday, huge chunk of Saturday. I think, I don't remember. It kind of was weird. Like when I looked at the time, it's like, was that only 4 hours? Because that felt like an eternity. But it wasn't all like, you know, sun up to sundown, because I still had to kind of work myself up to it. I'm just hoping that this silver fencing and all these silver wire spooks them. They don't try to jump in here. They're just so damn stupid. I really don't trust them. Not try to jump in here. Okay, so I'm trying to shore up all the ones that, I don't know. I'm trying to do both. I'm trying to shore up some ones that made it, and I'm trying to shore up some ones that are going to have the hardest. Going to have the hardest time. I'm trying to do both. Well, there's definitely 2 over there. I see their fuzzy butts. I wonder if this will help at all. It might help a little bit. Oh, I know what I'll do. I will. Something kind of like this. And something kind of like this. I wish I could just show you guys all this stuff. I wish the world was a safer place to where I could just stream everything. It would be so much. There's so many There's so many cool things I do out here that I think are cool. Like I was telling Jabonzi, the second I pan up from my little piece of yard, you guys would know exactly where I was immediately. And if I learned anything from the off-grid project, that guy probably still to this day, well, he had that big storm come through, but that poor guy and his wife and their kid were just relentlessly harassed, and he tried to open up a store, or no, his wife tried to open up a store, and they were just relentlessly harassed by these psychopaths. They came, and he has video of them destroying his place. He's got video of them flying drones in his place, and I couldn't put somebody through that. My wife is such a sweetheart, and the people in this world are so unbelievably cruel. Once they decide that they hate you, they pick and pick and pick. And there's nothing you can do. The law lets people harass you right up until the worst things happen. And then even then, sometimes, especially if they're just losers with nothing, they just get off. Like, you can harass people to just the point of insanity, and they get away with it. Ladybug. And especially if you have something and they don't. I can't remember who I was talking to about this. It's just jealousy. I think it was show and tell. People have been harassing show and tell. It's like, dude, it's just jealousy. They're just jealous. They're just jealous. And there's nothing you can do about it. And I think that's why a lot of people, Agnostic was talking about this, a lot of people are just ready for the shit hits the fan. Because of the retribution, the revenge. People are just waiting for the opportunity to just exact revenge for there just being no consequences for so long, for only one side. You know, for the people who have time, money, effort, energy, and resources, there's been consequences this whole time. But the other side is usually resource starved. But they usually have the energy and the will and the drive, but not the resources. So gosh forbid if they ever get the resources, they already have the time, effort, and energy with no consequences to just make your life a living hell. And the entire justice system revolves around protecting them from us. I don't wish harm on anybody. I know a lot of people who do, though. A lot of people have been suffering for a long time. And I know, they want to pit us against each other. I know that. But here's the thing, like, there is a lot of people that have it coming. Now, do they have it coming because people pitted them against each other? Yeah, I guess. But it doesn't really matter. The fact that justice hasn't been served for so long is a thorn in a lot of people's side, because there is just lunatics unhinged, unglued lunatics. The insane are running the asylum. People are sick of it. People's purge lists by now must just be massive. And you could say, oh, you know, well, that's against their fellow man. It's like, are commies people? Like, are these people that want to ruin your entire life? Like, well, okay, maybe they've been led astray. But at some point, like, I just don't know if it matters. I just want to be left alone. I just want to piddle putt around here. But if somebody starts fucking with me, I'm not going to sit there and go, oh, they've been led astray. Those poor souls, they don't know what they're doing because they're just brainwashed. No. Like, what's going to happen is what's going to happen. And I was talking to somebody about it the other day. There's no law here. There's no sheriff's department. There isn't any of that. There's no law. There's no sheriff's department. There's a little fire department that also does EMS. That's it. The fire department is basically the law here, which we live in a rainforest, so I think that's good, probably. They're good at what they do. They're damn good at what they do. But like the sheriff's department, dude, fuck those guys. They come down here, they don't do shit. They turn around and leave in 5 seconds. They have to go mobilize. It takes an hour. And then they drive down the road and fucking leave in 2 minutes. That's the sheriff's department for you. So anyway, I gotta shut this off. I hope this works. Buy my books if you already bought my books, review my books. And look forward to an update to Bunker Basics here very soon. I'll have more about that later. Talk to you later. Bye.
Oh, what a beautiful day. I can't wait to go check on everything and make sure it's okay. I'm sure absolutely nothing happened out here last night, and for all the critters' sake, I'd better be what have you done here? You have destroyed my trees, and now I have to try to shield them, or somehow I'll work all day, sweat on my brow, protecting limb and leaf from dumb deer does. I worked all day, time to go to bed now, as soon as I eat some delicious chow. And try not to sneeze. The birds are happy, so is the toad. Cars are honking at deers in the road. Hoof prints everywhere, scuffles of two fighting ghosts. So what's this? My gravel driveway is toast. It's the boy deer I hate the most. Go away, you stupid beast. I'll kill you all and have a four-course kidding, y'all will be back next year. I'm sure everything's going to go great. It was the stupid bunny rabbit. Why? I wish the crazy bastard critter would just go and die. Take all of your friends, my sister. y'all better be gone.